Welcome back. In a social psychology, a stereotype is an overgeneralized belief about a particular category of people. It is an expectation that people might have about every person or a particular group. Now, being a chauffeuress in Nigeria is worth questioning, and all. I met these two young women separately at the nation's capital, Abuja, Nigeria, who have taken off the shame to earn a living for themselves. At least I was inspired to have spoken to them about their security challenges at different times. Yesterday, I invited them for an interview and I thought of sharing their unique story out there to inspire other women. Let's take a listen. So it's a very good pleasure to have you here, Chika and Adetutu. Okay, now tell me, what inspired you being a chauffeuress? You go first.
I love driving and I learned how to drive 2015. So while I was doing that, I had the mindset to learn well and be good at it because I want to convey people, not just goods, from one point to the other because it gives me joy. So growing up, I got a job as a personal assistant and I was offered the opportunity to drive and I grabbed it. So I drove my bus for 2 years and 4 months and I did good at it. So when I resigned, I decided to go with Bolt to do it for myself and see how far that would take me.
Okay, Aditi, let me hear your side of story. What inspired you?
My inspiration was basically survival.
Oh.
Because I have 2 kids and I have to look after on my own. And there was no job forthcoming. And the business I was doing was being affected by the emergence of COVID-19 and other forces. And I learned how to drive 2003.
Okay.
So I thought of what can I do. So when the idea came, I discussed it with my siblings. My brother kicked against it like,
okay,
why will you go and do that? You're a graduate, it's risky, it's this, it's that. I heard him and I first of all paused on the idea. Again, each time I book boat to go out, when the driver comes to pick me, I start asking them questions. Can a woman do this thing?
Now you take your time to ask the drivers that
I did that for 5 months.
Oh,
asking questions. How is
were they male or female?
All male.
All male drivers.
All male drivers. So I keep asking, are there females in this industry who do this as well? Some will say, no, I've never met one. I think it would be a good thing for a female to do it. You can't do it. I said, why? Because you're a woman. I like to do things that you think I cannot do. I like challenges.
And all you wanted was to feed your children.
Yes, and have a life because of some past experience of where I was coming from. I cannot go begging. Number one, I'm a very resilient person who goes after what I want, and I know what I wanted, and that was the opportunity. And when the opportunity came, I grabbed it and I started driving.
Were you working before you started?
I resigned, actually. I resigned. I was working as a microfinance banker, so I resigned and I started up some businesses, but I still wanted more, and that more pushed me, and I still keep pushing myself the more.
Are you married?
Separated, actually.
You're separated. Are you also married?
I'm single.
You're very single.
Very single.
Okay, you taking up this chauffeur as a side hustle for you. What did your parents say about it?
I discussed with my mom. I have just my mom. My dad is late. So she was like, this child, what would you do? That she won't stop me, but hope I have it covered, because she has never stopped me with my crazy ideas. She knows I love to drive. So she was just concerned about the security part of it, being that I'm a female. What if? So I told her that I don't go into any business thinking of the what if. It comes, but that's not my prayer. And during the jobs I've done, my experience thus far being a personal assistant to someone big, I've gone through training, self-defense. So that has been my advantage. I don't have weapons, but I know I can defend myself when need be. So, and you check your clients. It's not every ride you accept. You have to go with what your spirit is comfortable with. there are some names that will pop up with their picture. You decline. It will affect your rating, yes, but you did it because you are not comfortable with it. Some will go ahead to accept it, and maybe they are just being at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Have you ever had any security threat being a driver?
Honestly, no, but I hear stories.
Okay.
Because before I step out, I go with the spirit being. I usher myself to God and for protection and all that. So even if it's happening, it's not happening to me, I see it. So when you see such scenario, you pray to God and thank Him for safety. Maybe it's not happening at that moment. I've been in a vehicle, sorry I have to bring this up, I've been in a vehicle traveling from Abuja to Lagos, night bus, and they were robbing in front. Our car was just the next car before where the incident was happening. So cars were just turning back, and we were sleeping behind. So when we were hearing armed robbers, we woke up and the driver stopped. People were now jumping out of the window. So in such cases, the person in front, you wouldn't say he was careless or he didn't know. Maybe it just happened. This unforeseen or things.
Okay, all right. I'll come back to you, Chika. Adetutu, ever since you've been a chauffeurist, have you ever had any security threats?
No, not really. For a year and a half that I've been doing the driving job, not really, but I hear stories as well. When I get riders, especially male riders, the first question they ask me is, are you not scared? And I answer them, why should I be scared? Because you are a woman. No, I don't have to. I have a big God. I said security is pertinent in this business, but me, I go out every day with the spirit that I will never encounter evil.
You both seem to have the same sense of thought.
And I tell them, is there any job that doesn't have its own risk?
Of course
there is none. So I go out with the spirit that it will never come to
you.
me.
Okay, all right. Now I'd like you, Chika, to walk me through your reasoning when you carry a man or a woman. What are the thoughts that comes to you? And also let me know how long you've been doing this.
Okay, officially I've been with both for a month.
Okay.
But I've been driving for 7 years.
Okay.
Professionally. So my impression when I carry a male driver, I like to work with them. I'm sorry to say this because female, I'm a woman, so I can understand them. They have little patience, or maybe the hormones. You never can tell. Someone asks for a ride and you accept it and is a woman. Maybe she's going through stuff you don't know about. And she comes into the vehicle. She wants her own space. She doesn't want to talk to you. So when I observe such, I keep my mouth closed. After the salutation, good afternoon, how was your day? With her response, you know if she wants to chat. Okay. With her response, you know she doesn't even want to talk. Like if you ask her destination, please follow the map.
So that also happens to you?
Follow the map. And sometimes you don't even know where you're going. So I will just, my earpiece on, I'll follow the map. The only reason I'll have to talk to her again is if I'm in the location and I can't find or identify the house. I say, ma, we're here. Which number? Then she would speak again. But the male clients, I think they're more impressed seeing me as a woman. So they want to understand what is my reason. Aren't you supposed to be at work? Aren't you supposed to be doing something else? And you're a graduate. So when they ask me that question, I smile because I'm not doing this because I'm confined to it. This is the only option I have. I choose to because I love to drive. I really, really love to drive. So I don't see it as a problem and I don't see it as an insult. I see it that I am taking you to where you need to be. You need me to take you.
Okay, all right. I just to tell me how, I want you to walk me through, just walk me down through the thought that comes to you. But then, how easy is it for you?
Yeah, firstly, I must tell you truthfully, it's challenging.
Okay.
I have to wake up 4 o'clock every day to prepare my kids for school. I wash my car myself, except on days that I feel lazy. I want to go to the car wash. That should be Saturday or Sundays. I wash my car myself, and I get dressed. The first thing that I take care of before leaving is my dressing. I make sure I dress well, because I believe the way you dress is the way you will be addressed. Yeah. Secondly, they see a woman popping up in front of their houses to come pick them. The first thing that comes to their mind is, oh, is she vulnerable? But when they come into your car, when they see your appearance, your approach, and the way you welcome them, the first thing they have this change of mind immediately. And some will want to talk to you, some will not want to talk to you, some will want to bully you as a woman, some will want to say, are you sure you can drive me like this? I will just bring out my license and show him I have a license. Okay, maybe in the course of the journey, why are you doing this? It depends on the approach of the man. Some, why can't I do it, will be my response. So the thing I say is, number one is, I see opportunity in all my riders that I pick. Why? Because you don't know who you are carrying. You don't know when you meet your own God sent. And I tell people, my experience so far has been sweet and sour.
Tell me about the sour part. I'm interested.
Yes, the sour part is that some look down on you being a female driver. It feels awful. Like I picked once before, and he spoke to me when I responded, and he said, are you educated? I looked at him and I said, I'm a BSc holder, in case you don't know. Unfortunately, he wasn't a BSc holder. It was just opportunity to have the money. And I said, I have easy way out of this. If I want to take the easy way out, I'm a woman. But I choose to do this because there is dignity in labor. And I have things to teach my kids. Fortunately for me, they are girls. That you can do this no matter what. Nothing should stop you. So at that moment, I feel somehow, but I suck it in and say, you are not enough to pull me down.
Now, when you're not driving, what else do you do?
Firstly, I rest. That is very, very important to me. I rest and I cook, because I don't have time. I cook at a time and I stock it up. I go to the market for shopping, and if I want to visit friends or go out, I use that opportunity. I take a day off or 2 days off, depending on how in this job you cannot plan your week ahead. You can only plan a day ahead. And it's even how the day starts that will determine. Some days you start working and you feel somehow you want to go home and sleep.
True.
Some days you may be at home and the motivation, it comes with motivation.
True.
If you don't have that motivation, you will not do anything.
Okay, Chika, let me come down to you. Tell me about your sweet and sour experience.
I laughed because of what she said. Some days you start and you just want to go home. It happened to me. I had a rider that was going to Lube. So I took him. Getting to Lube, he dropped and I got a request. I accepted. It was a female. So the female put on her address Mr. Biggs. So the map was taking me to Mr. Biggs, but Mr. Biggs was not where she was. She started directing me. She directed me for like 30 minutes. I was just going round and round. I just parked. While I parked, I called. She would say, come this way. I will redirect my map. Come this way. And my car was consuming lots of fuel at that time. So at the end of the day, she cancelled on me. So when she did, I dropped a tear. It was that painful. So I was not leaving. I said, in fact, I am done. Let me just drive all the way back to town. Then someone requested. I declined. He requested again. The same person is a lawyer. So I accepted. And he was like, please, he needs to get to Gariki. He needs to get to Gariki. Where am I? That the map is saying. I said, I'm just parked at the filling station. So when he met with me, he saw that I was down. So I started sharing my experience. It was painful. I couldn't still hold myself. I said, but why would she do that? I felt I just called for nothing and you cancelled on me. So when I dropped the guy, I just went home. I was off for that day. I said, it's like today is not the day.